Welcome. Today we're going to talk about academic versus popular sources, what you need to know to conduct effective research. So let's start with what types of resources are out there. When researching, there are different types of sources that are appropriate to use for different things. Maybe your professor gave you specific assignment requirements, or maybe you are just trying to find a quick and easily digestible article on current events. Today, we're focusing on popular versus academic sources. But what exactly does that mean? To properly conduct research, we need to know what defines both popular and academic sources. Popular sources are written for the masses, which means they aren't normally published with academics in mind. They also are not peer-reviewed. Academic sources, also known as scholarly sources, are reviewed by other experts in their field. These sources come from academic journals and are always peer-reviewed. But what does peer reviewing mean anyway? Let's start with an introduction. This definition of peer reviewing says that it is a process by which something proposed, like research or a publication, is evaluated by a group of experts in an appropriate field. Let's look into this process a little further. Here we have the life of an academic article. Let's say we all know expert number 1, and they are so excited to have written their first article for publication. However, it doesn't just end there. Next, they send it to the academic journal that would be the best fit and submit it for publishing. In phase 2, that publisher sends the article to additional experts for peer reviewing. Sometimes it's one reviewer, or sometimes it's 2. Once they're finished with their reviews, they send it back to the publisher with recommendations on next steps. In phase 3, if they decide to publish it, they send it back to expert 1, the original author, and they make the recommended changes based on the feedback of the additional experts. After they do that, the article could be reviewed again for final improvements or go right to publishing. What are people who peer review looking for? Well, it's a lot of the same things we should be looking for as good researchers. They're looking for gaps in the research and the science that is behind the claims that the author is making. Is the author making a claim that isn't backed up by their experiments? That is a big red flag and something that a peer reviewer would certainly catch. They're also looking for the validity and accuracy of the sources they consulted, and how they interpret their data to make sure the numbers don't seem skewed and are presented in a clear and unbiased way. They're also looking for accurate conclusion to make sure that all this research is summed up in an ethical and responsible way that doesn't have readers guessing where these conclusions came from. So finally, why does this matter? We know what it is and how it's done, but what is the point of peer review? Well, peer-reviewed content is currently the best way to provide students with trusted and accurate research. However, the peer review process isn't foolproof. Often, irresponsible and unfinished research can make it through, which is why it's so important to have good people conducting the editing process. It's important to use your best judgment and don't believe everything you read right off the bat. If you, as an academic, feel like something isn't right about an academic article you're reading, try and find additional articles making similar points. It'll be easy to tell if they're sharing a similar story or if you feel one article is making claims you can't trust. So we're back to popular sources. They are not peer-reviewed, so they aren't always the best option for academic assignments. However, there are some great popular sources out there. But when is the best time to use them? Here we have the characteristics of popular sources. As we know, they are not peer-reviewed and don't come from academic journals. Peer-reviewed sources are made for the masses. This means that they're made for mass consumption. They're written in a broad way to appeal to as many readers as possible and often are published in magazines and newspapers where the goal is to gain readers or make sales. They can cover current events. Newspapers are great popular sources for current events and world news. However, sometimes these sources can be very biased, so it's always best to fact-check newspapers before citing them in assignments. They are great for topical overviews. Whether you're conducting research for a project or just trying to read up on a topic on your own, popular sources can provide great interviews with experts, overviews on larger topics, and introductory information that is good to know before diving into more academic-based research. But how do we know which sources are appropriate to use at what time? Use your best judgment and listen to your professor. Usually, the assignments are given will be clear about what types of resources are expected. If you're writing a big research paper, you will probably want academic sources. If you're putting together a presentation over a large topic for people maybe outside of your degree program, you might want to use popular sources for easily understandable information. But just know you can always reach out to your professor with questions. And know that you are not alone. So please reach out. Below are all the ways you can contact the library for assistance with finding and evaluating sources. Use the 24/7 chat found on the library homepage, email or call us, or even make an appointment in person, by phone, or through Zoom. We're here to help you with whatever you might need.